It's unfortunate to happen on play day 6, but yeah, C9, for example, definitely a turnaround for them. Let's see where they're playing, though, to see if this map favors one or another. And I say that every time, but it is a factor. It definitely does make a difference where you end up.
Maps are important, yo.
Yep.
Black
Especially if
Dragons.
you're a cartographer.
Black Dragons, the first ban. Team 1, the second ban. Coastline Gun, Border the follow-up. Villa as well. So we've been seeing Villa consistently banned across all regions.
Yeah,
Ben Bank, the final one. Consulate for the second time today.
All right. So that is the third time overall. And as I mentioned last time, the team that played Consulate before, in this case Black Dragons, got 6-0'd on it. So it does surprise me they would go back to it. I mean, yeah, they have 6 rounds to learn from, but that's not what you're going to want to go back to. Hopefully they've shored this up and they didn't just get caught off guard in the map bans, because it's possible that they were thinking this was not going to be the one they were going to end up on, or maybe they've just prepared a lot since then. Either way, though, this does favor Team 1 just off of the fact that, well, it's a bad map so far from what we've seen for Black Dragons and against a stronger team, at least standings-wise right now.
Yeah, even if you haven't played on the map yet in the season, you're still in better standing if you haven't gotten 6-0'd on it. So you're going to be feeling good going into this match. But more importantly, I think just in general, T1, have been having a better season overall. Yeah. No matter where they go, they've been doing, decent, and they've been showing us what we expect from them. So, community vote. Who do you think is going to win?
Yeah, let's see what we expect from you. All right. Well, actually, surprisingly, and I mean, I hate to put it like this, but I do think there's a possibility that 56 is for people that don't realize this is former Red Devils.
They're NIP now.
Yeah.
Black Dragons that you think is Black Dragons are NIP now.
Just saying, that's a possibility. I could be totally wrong on that, and people could be like, they just haven't shown it yet. They just, they've been hiding all that talent. Or it just could be people aren't favoring Team 1.
And that's true. I did say this earlier. Black Dragons that we have now, the current Black Dragons, are hiding a lot of talent. This is a very skilled team.
If you hide it the whole season, though, is that even hiding it at that point?
We're not done yet.
Yeah, almost the halfway.
We're close to the halfway point. This is the 6th day play day out of 14. On Monday, we have the 7th play day for Latin America. So we're getting to that halfway point. But you're right. If we get to the halfway point and Black Dragons have not gotten any more wins, and I don't know if they're going to be able to recover at that point.
Let's hope this is them baiting Team 1, thinking Team 1 researched all their previous match on where they got 6-0, and they're like, oh, I know how they play it. It's easy. We just copy what, got done against them from boot camp. No problem. And then it's like, oh, totally baited. Probably not likely, but I like to think optimistically on that.
We shall see. That's a long game to be playing.
Yeah.
The
long con. Yeah. We're gonna lose a whole bunch of the initial matches. Second half of the season, destroy everyone. The long con.
I don't know if that's gonna be a great plan.
That's what Cloud9 did, right?
Well,
let's get 6-0 a couple times, and then we'll win 2 in a row.
Cloud9 are starting to seem really formidable, but we can reference them all day.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, that was after a roster change. Now.
It was.
So maybe that's what Black Dragons need.
I don't know. I don't know that they need a roster change.
Probably not.
I'm looking at this lineup from BD, and I'm seeing so much talent.
They're all pretty good players. We've seen good stuff from all of them, so it doesn't necessarily scream roster change.
We just need them to up their cohesion and start employing, I think, a little bit more. You don't want to get too intricate with your strategy. No. You need things to be very simple so that they can be more effective, because it makes them more durable. So when you lose a role, for example, like somebody who needs to hold a flank, you could just rotate somebody else into that role if it's, pivotal. Now, you make a strategy intricate and you give everybody a job, then that becomes harder to do. But we need to see those basic strategies, those durable strategies from Black Dragons, and then we need to see them execute them together before they're going to start generating wins. So, we're going to go into Consulate.
Let's hope that they are a bit better on the operator bans than we saw from Boot Camp.
Yeah. Twice now in this season, we've seen Boot Camp shoot themselves in the feet.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they have 3 feet at this point.
It's very possible. The first ban here from Black Dragons, they will get rid of Attacker. I'm thinking Blackbeard.
Yeah, Blackbeard would be a good choice.
Yeah, Blackbeard. Maybe IQ actually would make sense on Consulate. If you want to, use Valkyrie a
You just
lot.
end up with a Valkyrie ban. Then
Ying also makes a lot, yeah.
Definitely been something we've seen more of in Latin America recently. People are getting tired of seeing a white screen half the round.
Yeah, so Ying is really good if you can set yourself up and you just get ready for the actual push. You got a Candela in hand, and there's not much the defenders can do about it except for have an ADS in place. But at that point, you've likely cleared them. So
true.
Second attacker ban, Lion.
Which is good. We saw how much Lion helped Immortals, for example, last match.
Yeah, Lion is a really powerful operator, and it is weird when he doesn't get banned because you see how much more aggressive the attack then becomes.
There we go. Echo ban, which is, as much as I love Echo, yeah, if I was most teams, I would ban him too.
Yeah, Echo is definitely one to get away, especially considering Mira is not that useful on Consulate. Valkyrie ban maybe. No, a Maestro ban, in fact. Interesting. So
usually we see one or the other with Maestro Echo, but sometimes double.
Yeah, and so that's going to be a lot of your indirect denial, gotten rid of. You've got those, you still got a lot of other operators who can do it, but still...
a lot of work for the Smoke player to do then, and potentially the Mira player.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll see, though, how they pull it off. Now, we're going to have Black Dragons on defense first. I believe last time, when it was a 6-0 against them, as I mentioned earlier, that was them on defense for the first 5 rounds. So, if history repeats itself, this is a bad start for Black Dragons.
They're going on to defense first.
Yeah, but that's if history repeats itself, which of course is a big if. And Hugzord on that Blackbeard, I would imagine, should not 6-pick off of that.
Yeah, especially, this is what we were talking about earlier, you're not going to ban the Blackbeard. He is going to be so freaking useful when you are defending the top floor or even the middle floor. All of the floors, really. Blackbeard is great on this map.
I would have banned Blackbeard over Ying, personally, just because...
Just here.
On Consulate, yeah.
Yeah, this specific map. Yeah. I think conventionally, Ying is going to be a better ban for most maps.
Yeah. We'll see, though. They are going to be up on console, which, of course, is, Blackbeard's friend here. So they're really going to have to watch... Yeah, they're going to have to watch their windows. We are seeing, again, no Thermite being brought. So they are going to rely on Habana, which means I get to imagine they were hoping it was not Garage, which we have not seen a ton of Garage on console. It has not been the favored map, or the favored site, rather. Console and Lobby being a bit more favored, and we're seeing Console being the starting site for a lot of these teams now, in Latin America at least.
Well, as we know from Latin America, they prefer a much more dynamic setup, and the ability to maneuver freely, and the least dynamic of all the sites has got to be the basement.
Yeah.
There's ways you can set it up to have plenty of room for adjustment. For example, you can go for the mirror window strategy in the bathroom roam just above, and that will allow you then to maneuver through the drop down at will. But still, it's going to fall short when you compare it to how much freedom you have on the roam in either the middle floor or the top floor.
Now, there's the admin mirror window setup we talked about before that is, in theory, great, but most often easy to dismantle, and then, of course, works against you, and you're just using a lot of utility to stay in a room for maybe 20 seconds or so. But nonetheless, there's backup from 2 other defenders to try and defend the admin, so assuming they don't just attack from bridge or window, maybe they'll do something with this.
This is cool. The thing about the setup right now from BD is if it is read by their opponents, Team 1, then we will see a very heavy rotation away from the admin office and probably a refocus onto B.
Yeah.
Now, this connector mirror window will, of course, hinder that B pressure, but it can also easily be opened, same as the one inside of the small cafeteria.
Yeah, and we're seeing the strategy where they're using the Blackbeard on the admin side first and most likely going to rotate him later to the console window, because that is something you can do.
Yeah, he is right now just trying to lay down some fire and disrupt the defenders as much as possible. You can see iBlack's looking for the information outside, any potential Valkyrie cameras. I believe there are some outside, and we'll see if he's able to find them or not. Either way, slow attack so far from T1.
Well, they just got to feel things out. This is the first round. They may not be prepared for how Black Dragons want to run this. They are going to open up that window, though, and that is, unfortunately, like I said before, a bit of utility lost.
So, yeah, this is the same deal with the one in small cafeteria. Both of the mirror windows that are placed right now can easily be shot from window.
Unfortunate. And window control is something they are definitely not doing. We don't see any Claymore set up on the yellow stairs door just yet, which is definitely going to potentially cost them if any runouts come out, but at least they're covering it manually at the moment and potentially taking that yellow stairs control, which Trunks is trying to hold as long as possible. See one goo mine on the stairs and 2 by the window inside console.
Legion possibly the perfect operator to hold on to yellow stairs. You even have support from his Jaeger. Slash will get Panico, Hugzord onto Slash. RDZ gets Hugzord outside and will be able to pick up his teammate. So a salvage there from the Jaeger of RDZ. T1 now at the disadvantage of being a man down and only 30 seconds left to go. iBlack's in the building, but he's going to have to push up yellow stairs, and against 2 opponents, not an easy push. A kill from Ion onto GDN, and that will extend the lead of Black Dragons. RDZ vaulting over the railing will get 1, and Docky gets the final. So T1 absolutely falling apart when they actually came to the fights.
And unfortunately, that was a really terrible start for them, despite the fact that a lot was working in their favor.
But here we go. Black Dragons really putting some kills together in that round, impressively so. And this is what we've been waiting to see for them for a while. Now, it is still early on.
Yeah.
1 round. And to be fair, there were a lot of trip-ups from T1.
Well, that's the thing is, like, that's either a round that is like a small hiccup and they're do fine from here, or that's the round that just completely trips them up for the rest of the game.
It could put T1 on tilt. It's entirely possible, especially considering they had a TK. That's going to be a contributing factor to their mentality.
We've seen that happen once before to, like, Fnatic especially was a big example of a team really just getting fumbled up and then it continuing to snowball after that point at, I believe, Atlantic City it was.
Yeah, I mean, it does...
My point is that we've definitely seen it happen.
Yeah, I think mentality plays a bigger factor at LANs too as well.
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot of pressure. People actually watching you physically there. You can see staring at you with hope.
Yeah.
Desperation in their eyes.
So dramatic.
Yeah. Well, we are going to see Alibi played again. It seems to be a big pick today for Latin America for whatever reason. We have seen it surprisingly actually kind of working too. So.
Well.
To an extent.
Sometimes.
I want to give credit because it worked more than it should.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Alibi has been picked a lot. She's not a bad operator. She's just not necessarily
not a great one.
Always. Yeah, she's not a great operator. She's like lower mid-tier as operators go for Pro League.
To be fair, very, very good for ranked. Just not great for Pro League.
Right. You know, and we always like to make sure there's a little bit of context there. For example, Finka. Great for ranked, you know?
Oh yeah, that win delta.
But so far has yet to be much of a force in Pro League.
Maybe I'll give it a couple seasons.
Yeah, maybe, actually.
I mean, we've seen operators really pick up this season despite not being changed, like Capitao, for example, or Dokkaebi.
Yeah,
like that didn't get any buffs or any changes whatsoever, yet still really picked up.
We actually talked about this in the pick rate for the attackers earlier. Why is Capitao not being played in Brazil, where he's being played, Latin America, where he's being played in every other region quite frequently? That's just a bit of a confusing thing.
Maybe they just have something against him personally. He slighted them somehow.
I don't think that's it. I think it actually is due to the nature of the Latin American region, their play style. They are not a very deliberate and their strategy region, and their strategies aren't very intricate. There's not a lot of precision.
Maybe we'll see it second half.
Right. And that's not a slight to Latin America. That's the difference in their play. We talked about it before. Latin American strategy is very much, in their region. Once they go to the international playground, then they start playing differently.
Hugzord really struggling up here, missing some shots. I mean, he had some close ones and then missing the drone throw. This is definitely... It's seeming like they're fumbling a little bit. At least this time he's not trying to pressure onto the admin window. Oh, of course, this is for a different bomb site. This is for Garage. But them taking a minute and a half just to start to take top floor control, a bit of a slow play here from Team 1.
Yeah, they are going to have the information and the control, and they'll call out the drop down into Piano. And that Valkyrie playing by Piano is going to be exposed, which will allow Panico to start bucking above and looking for the kill. Though a very easy rotation for the Valkyrie. Not feeling any pressure right now. On the roam, able to rotate as he pleases. And they will all go back to site. The defenders have chosen to anchor up as we're only in 1 minute left in the...
It worked. They burned 2 minutes, didn't lose anyone, lost a little bit of health on Slash, but overall, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, that's fine. They're in a good position to win this again.
Now, T1 are very, very big on droning. You can see they're clearing out many things all at once using that drone. And Slash is actually going to be pushing up the yellow stairs. This is,
Oh, no.
Would be a smart play if not for the Dokkaebi.
Yeah, the phone call, unfortunately. Ooh, nice play by Hugzord, though. Playing off of the slight speed advantage now he has from Blackbeard changes.
He's also still using the DMR, the SR-25. Kind of interesting. Flashbangs coming into the, well, not rotation, but murder holes that are made at the back of white. iBlacks will get Slash, and RDZ quickly refrags onto Hugzord. There's only 16 seconds left as Panico gets the double kill, and the C4 double kill for Lev. And it's just Panico, though, from behind, the triple for him and the round for T1. That was supposed to be a victory for Black Dragons, but Panico putting himself in the optimal position.
Yeah, absolutely his round. That he saved that for them in a situation where, yeah, they were not looking so great towards the end, especially time management, not the best. And it just feels like maybe it was a coordination issue, but at least Panico saving that to an extent. Hopefully that gives them the confidence they need to be a bit more coordinated this round and maybe speed things up a little. They have the phone calls. They should be pushing these a little bit faster. Lobby, however, again, is going to depend on that top floor take, which they've shown to be a bit slow at, or maybe even a little bit sloppy in terms of coverage on the way they're playing it. But maybe they'll feel a little more comfortable having done it now a few times.
Yeah. Well, Lobby is an interesting site, that's for sure. It's the great thing about it is you can roam on the basement, you can roam on the top floor. You've got a lot of options when it comes to the defense. Interesting that Drunks is going to choose to rotate off of the Pulse onto the Smoke. I don't know if that's the right call. I mean, the Smoke is a very useful operator, but I don't know if that's the one you want to rotate, the Pulse for the Smoke, because then that Pulse is the player who's going to be able to deny the defuse plant from below.
We've seen him even throw it up that little closet hatch.
Right, that's exactly what I mean. And the Smokes can equally do that, but they're not going to be as effective as just a raw C4.
Partially because you're so exposed to trying to smoke from there, because there's not as many good positions to try and smoke, say, deny the doorway or something like that.
Well, you do it from the same drop down downstairs, but it's just not as much information gathering because you don't have the heartbeat detector. And again, it's not an absolute kill. It's just going to be more time that you're delaying. Either way, they do have a decent chunk of denial here on the defense. There, of course, is no Maestro or Echo, as they've both been banned, so they need to go for more direct forms of denial, such as the Smoke, such as C4s.
Well, interesting, too, that we saw Team 1 6 pick over to Thermite to have a double hard breacher situation. They might have thought it was going to be Garage again, as they won the Garage attack, so Garage could have been the play again for the second time. But because of that, now they have a bit of redundancy on their hard breachers. Maybe that'll help if one of them dies early, but
you don't
really need them so much for this site.
In the past, from Latin America, we've seen a lot of redundant hard breachers being brought out in a good way and a bad way. I mean, it really depends on how you look at it. But yeah, the Habana Thermite combination was very common for a while.
I mean, Habana's a pretty good fragger too, though.
And as of late, it has ceased to be. And this is actually the first time we've seen it, I believe, today. Hugzord will get Slash. So early kill onto the Valkyrie. Luckily for the defense, it was a Valkyrie, so as long as the cams are already down, it probably won't mean too much. I mean, you're just losing a player and a C4.
He just gets to dedicate his afterlife to them now.
Yeah, he's going to be on those cams, calling out information in the postmortem.
We'll see if that matters here. Of course, speaking of calls, probably one coming out here from Ion in just a moment after he does some droning. There is a phone available for him to hack if he can get over to there, thanks to Hugzord.
It doesn't look like the defense is actually set up very well to handle a take from admin office right now. If T1 could just get a little bit more aggressive, they might be able to apply enough pressure just to Drunks to be able to push in sight. He is actually the only one holding projector right now. So as soon as they push Drunks out of this out of projector, they have complete vertical control.
Yeah, it's a lot of people to depend on one guy up here to hold this, because obviously once he dies, they have a lot of control they can use to just push downstairs, because they have a Buck, for example. But that Jaeger could rotate up. If he rotates up in time here, could help his buddy out, as he can have a nice flank onto the admin door.
So yet again, the phone call thwarting a potential play from Black Dragons, and that will force Drunks and RDZ to fall off. But only a minute. So I feel like we're saying it again, but the slow attack hurting T1. Panico will get the first kill on the entry into the bathroom, but Drunks easily able to refrag. And bathroom now in favor of the attack, despite that refrag, because no one from BD has chosen to retake into it. Hugzord will get Daki, leaving just RDZ and Drunks as the last two defenders in a 2 versus 4 with only 30 seconds left. Oh, there is the ability to deny the plant. Drunks, though, on the phone call. As Hugzord gets RDZ, Ion will finish off Drunks, and T1 take another round.
Well, they may not have needed the double hard breachers, but the Habana definitely helped in taking that bathroom there. That was a big impact because he just lost all control of that, and once they had that, they just pushed that all the way down into Piano, took control of the rest of the site, and didn't even have to bother planting. Good round. So I feel like Team 1 have kind of come back from that initial kind of bad round. They're still being a little bit slow, but the timing from Dogobi has been very, very good. As you mentioned before, they've caught a couple of roams. I mean, maybe they don't even know it. They might not see that, obviously, until they watch the VOD. But
it's likely they don't know about it. But I mean,
they're just getting on it, though.
Even if it's luck, you know, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
They have been getting the Dokabis detonated at the right moment.
And that, of course, is what it's useful for. You only get 2, though, so you definitely have to time it well. And Capitao, the one time we almost saw it, you're going to 6-pick off it to Monty.
I was so hopeful, man.
Sorry.
Montaigne, though, also a very useful operator and one that has been seeing more play as of late.
A lot more play.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know how useful he is on Consulate, I got to be honest.
Yeah. This isn't Clubhouse.
This is probably one of his worst maps, considering how much vertical destruction there is.
Well, considering people try and do it on yellow stairs all the time and then just get killed by Legion Mines and Shotgun C4.
But the great thing about having a Montaigne, despite the vertical pressure, is that there is no Echo. And Echo is the hardest counter to a Montaigne, along with the likes of Legion and so on and so on.
Pulse.
No, Pulse as well, but Echo is straight up the hardest counter. I mean, when you're dealing with a Blitz, for example, maybe Echo isn't, because Blitz will get disoriented, but his shield isn't going to come up from underneath him.
Yeah,
you're dealing with a Montaigne that's deployed, and he's relying on that. Suddenly his legs are exposed for a solid second, and there's nothing he can do about that. When his shield is coming up, you can't just crouch down at the same time.
Very true.
You have to wait. Your legs are exposed. If there's a Jaeger waiting for that to happen, Echo Jaeger combination, that Montaigne is a dead man.
So, lesson learned, if Echo's not banned, make sure Monty has shaved his legs for the match.
So, admin office control. Yet again an emphasis for Black Dragons as they place 2 players in this position, and very likely a mirror window, if not now, certainly later, in the small cafeteria. It did dissuade T1 last time, but I don't know that it'll do it twice in a row.
Probably not. We're seeing the usual Blackbeard kind of push on the balcony side here instead. So Hugzord's playing a lot of different ways of using Blackbeard on these attacks.
Yeah, I do like the diversity and strategy from T1 in not only the operator selection, but where they choose to place their operators. It is intriguing, and always nice to see the little changes that they bring forward. Yeah,
it just not only shows adaptation, but also shows that they can play a variety of different ways, especially if they win with those consistently. So far, though, this has, again, been kind of a slow attack, as they have not accomplished a lot in the first minute, but Monty going up these yellow stairs now is going to be part of their plan, starting to get executed. It is a little bit slow, but he's not being contested, so they just need to take care of this barbed wire, potentially.
If I'm going to use a Montaigne, I guess going up the yellow stairs makes a lot of sense. He's the best shield for the staircase take, and you do need something often to just shove out that lane, because it's hard to fight against the Legion here. But
that's why you should have an IQ if you're going to be doing it, so you can spot whether or not he's going to be walking through goo mines before he does so.
I would agree. An IQ would be very useful.
Well, I mean, you can see that stairwell from outside, so you don't need to be, like, unsafe in doing it. But either way, he makes it just fine. Unfortunately, Drunks doesn't catch him with any.
Panico gets the first kill onto Daki. He's been doing that a lot. Panico really fragging out. He did manage to get the first win for his team. Ion follows up with the kill into RDZ. Ion as well has been fragging quite a bit for T1. Drunks inside a bathroom is actually finding himself in a bad spot. Now that his teammates are dying, he has no one to support with a crossfire, and he will likely be rushed by the Montaigne moving forward. Lev inside of A is completely exposed to the Blackbeard. As soon as he peeks, he will likely lose his head, but no, just barely. Hugzord will miss the shots. Blackbeard just challenging now, and he will actually lose out to Lev. What an aggressive play from the Mira. Ion gets his second onto Slash, and it's just going to be a cascaded victory so far for T1 in this round. Drunks is a bit cornered in the bathroom, and Lev, meanwhile, in A, not able to deny B, but he will get a kill onto GDN as he rotates into connector. Smokes to deny further rotation. C4 comes out as a response. It will see no success, but the rotation into sight and Drunks with the kill onto the shield. It's out up to Panico. What has just happened? T1 had full control, and Panico on the repel will lose the fight to Lev. An incredible play between Lev and Drunks to get the victory for Black Dragons.
Lev definitely playing very, very good that round. You saw him with very good plays against Blackbeard, peeking at the right time, knowing he broke, because he heard the shield break. He knew the shield was being replaced, took advantage of the timing, got Blackbeard at an off angle, then played off of that. I liked the rotation through the connector all the way into console office as well. The smart plays. Unfortunately, that C4 didn't work, but nonetheless, he was playing that very, very well and super critical to them winning that round.
Yeah, the positioning was really, I think, the standout thing for Lev, and major props to him in that round. As an individual, he's been playing great in this match so far.
Definitely a very important play, although we'll see whether or not that can continue, but it is 2-2 now, so Black Dragons, you know, picking it up a bit.
This is what we need to see from Black Dragons. They have to start netting some wins in this season, or it's going to be all over.
Yep, well, this is their last defense attempt here, so we'll see how they fare on this one. Who comes out with the 3 points versus the 2 going into the next half. And there's the first Zofia pick here coming out as a 6th pick. No, 6th pick coming out from Black Dragons. They're just going to stick with what they have. And we'll see if that makes a difference. They are unfortunately not going with the double hard breachers on the one side that could benefit from it the most, but what can you do?
It's always weird when we don't see Thermite when the bomb site is a bit ambiguous. I mean, if you don't know that it cannot be the basement on Consulate, you bring a Thermite. It's just kind of the basic strategy here on this map.
I think that's what makes Consulate a strong map for teams that have a player that's a Thermite that's a good fragger, like Goga, for example. Someone that can actually play very well on Thermite even when his utility isn't important.
Right.
I think is very, because like you said, when you don't know the bomb site, you kind of have to bring him a lot of the time, and you don't want him to be a liability, you want him to still be an asset.
As soon as you open up the wall or walls that you need to open up as a Thermite, you become a fragger.
Yeah.
Your entire role then shifts to hard fragger, and you need to be able to fulfill that role. Some people just can't, and some people or some teams will stick their worst fragger onto Thermite because he is their worst fragger. But like you said, they're an example of teams who have the best of both worlds, like Goga, for example, like you said.
On the upside, though, he does have claymores and or flashes, depending on how you want to play it. So you can bring some extra utility to the team. But
on Consulate, you're probably going to also bring the claymore.
Yeah, for those runouts that you
from the yellow stairs.
Yeah, absolutely. The 2 of them, because the window and the door.
I mean, most people will usually put it just on the door. I think if you're going to have one claymore, it's going to go on the door. It's higher priority, right? But if you have both,
if you have extra, do both.
Yeah. So Hugzord trying to apply pressure to any potential roamers upstairs. It is being droned out by the rest of the members of T1. As you can see, they're also clearing from the admin office, and they will spot one of those defenders who actually manages to sneak by Hugzord. Really bad timing there from Hugzord, allowing for that roamer to fall back to yellow stairs and get away safely.
In the meantime, though, at least they have Iblacks clearing the rest from Projector here, so they're doing a good job taking this at a swifter pace than they had in previous rounds, and that's a good start for them. They still also have those 2 logic bombs to be able to, potentially, as they've been doing, catch those roamers off guard at just the right time. So we'll see if that ends up being a factor. But they were so slow on this garage push last time that when they finally went to execute on it, it actually fell apart pretty quickly.
Oh,
it was barely saved by Panico.
Timing and positioning from Panico. He gets one but cannot secure the other. 2 defenders hugging each other there.
Yeah. Paid off because Panico was the one to clutch it out last time on the garage attack. Maybe not going to happen this time. We'll see, though. That Blackbeard, not always the best attacker for this particular bomb site, depending on how they play him. But last time they played pretty aggressively from the backside, and looks like they're doing the same thing again. Not concerned with opening the garage door, just instead playing for a cafeteria take. But they could be caught from behind. You hear the hatch being opened from behind, though, for that blue hallway, and that's where they need to take to pressure who is roaming in there.
They're also going to be opening up that wall of the main garage, getting the batteries and allowing for the Habana to later rotate out and open that on up. Slash trying to slow this push down as long as possible. He's got a great position to do so, but as soon as he gets pinched, it'll all be over. Mid-air through the wall, the C4 is destroyed, and Ion will follow that up with a kill. That was the C4 kill and the player kill for Ion. He has been out of his mind in this match, along with Panico, the 2 standout performers on T1. Meanwhile, BD with only 20 seconds to delay, but only 2 players to do so. And the slow push from Hugzord, he will spot out the smoke, and Daki will go down to Ion, and a double for Ion, and I believe 3 in the round overall. A great round from him, and T1 take another.
Well, that does give them the point advantage now with the 3-2. A good take from them. It was unfortunate to lose Panico so early, but at least he got 1 before he died, and then they were able to do exactly what they needed to do for Cafeteria Attack, which is secure the archive side and then push from there. Great plays by Ion in doing that and helping out with that. We'll see, though, how they can play on their defense because they are only 1 point ahead, so they need to have a strong defense here to be able to pull out ahead enough or at least keep the lead that they have. And a Vigil is a good way to do that. I expect good things from Ion on that because he is so comfortable, as you saw on that SMG, that he's going to be using the exact same one, potentially, along with the K1A on Vigil. So I expect good things from him. But Daki going to be doing Ion's job on attack. They are going to go with the double hard breachers and the Blackbeard, so now we can see why they didn't ban Blackbeard, because they both wanted to use it.
Yeah, Blackbeard, definitely a very useful operator here. Did he get 6-picked?
Yeah. Rip.
Oh, okay, 6-picked into Twitch. I get it. There is a Mira on the other team.
I get it.
Makes sense. We even have a mute, but that was a 6-pick as well. So, still, going to be a very useful operator, Twitch, going into this round, especially on the middle floor. You want to be able to disable those windows in the bathroom.
Yeah. Well, mute is also a common play for that as well, to be able to help with that bathroom, to be able to try and deny, especially the Twitch drone trying to get into there to get that bathroom open, but there are plenty of opportunities to be able to do so from other ways.
So I expect the attack strategy here for Black Dragons to be something along the lines of come from Z or bench hallway or whatever you call it, from and then push into the bathroom and open up those mirror windows and flood into the site. So pretty much the same thing we saw from T1. That's how most teams tend to attack this floor.
Yeah.
And it's not the only strategy available, but it's probably the most consistently successful.
That's usually what you want to employ.
Yeah, but not all teams track that. So we'll see. We'll see what the actual strategy is.
Oh,
it couldn't. Go ahead.
There's 2 bulletproof cameras as well. The mute and the Vigil both brought a bulletproof camera. We didn't see where they were placed, but I just thought I'd mention that because that's odd to see 2 being deployed.
It's also odd to see Vigil bringing bulletproof cameras.
Yeah, because the impact nades are so useful for those rotations.
One of the most useful pieces of kit, and one of the main reasons that people tend to play a Vigil, actually. Yeah. So he's got the guns, he's got the impacts, he's got the whole shebang. But that's what T1 have decided to go with on their first defensive round, and we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, well, no Maestro as he was banned, so I guess that's their alternative, right? 2 Evil Eyes and bulletproof camera for him,
Yeah, I mean, it can't shoot anything, and it can't pivot, but you can still gather that useful information. And speaking of information, Ion spotted out inside of admin office, and he's being pressured by the windows. A minute's already transpired, and only just now are the attackers really starting to get on this take. And Lev will lose his drone very early on.
I like that Ion's denying the drones for a long time because, I mean, obviously he denies them a little bit with his ability as well, but the fact that he can stick in here and keep stopping them from droning is going to make it so they just have to pull off. And that's the important thing. He forced them to waste 1:15 to accomplish nothing at this point unless Levy can get him.
Now, it's just Lev, though, on the rappel. He's the only one left. And as the phone call comes out, Ion will get the kill onto Lev. So diffuser down, and an easy kill for the Vigil, who is not only delayed for a significant amount of time, but also given his team an advantage.
Such a great round already for Ion.
Absolutely. He's been having a great round pretty much all of this match. He really, like you talked about, plays exceptionally well on the SMG-12. It seems like he loves that gun, and that makes a lot of sense.
Reasonably so.
Probably one of the best guns in the game.
Yeah.
And it is one of those secondary primary weapons. Very useful.
Yeah.
Now, Panico downstairs, speaking of useful, as Ion gets his 2nd kill onto RDZ. That's both of the hard destructors eliminated, but Ion is on 1 singular point of HP. So at any point, he could be downed even by a Twitch drone. Drunks, though, speaking of Twitch, will be dispatched by Hugzord. An easy headshot from the yellow stairs. GDN gets Slash, who comes up from the hallway. And a 2nd kill for GDN on the 2nd pump. Oh. And T1 take their first defensive round.
And a flawless one at that, thanks to Ion. So Ion not even dying thanks to GDN, just getting the last 2 kills there. what a good round for Team 1. So they definitely shown at least that defense very solid, and I want to give a lot of that credit to Team 1 or to Ion, so especially the way he played that upstairs, delayed them so long, and then getting the kill on the defuse carrier just burned so much time and put them in such a tough spot to be able to continue to make that push. That even if he didn't do anything from there, would have been great, but he still got another kill on top of that. And then GDN playing very well on those yellow stairs, finishing it up to put this very close to match point here for Team 1, for Black Dragons to lose on this map a second time potentially.
So, in hindsight, I'm seeing the problem for Black Dragons is that they didn't ban Dokkaebi and Vigil. They need to get the SMG-12 out of the hands of Ion. No, but in seriousness,
Doc just wants to use it himself.
Almost every single kill that Ion has is by the SMG-12.
And they've been important kills.
Yes, so super high impact.
I mean, he shot the C4 out of the air through the wall.
He got both of the hard destructors in that last round.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so many different things giving his team an advantage off of the back of one gun on one player.
Well, we'll see if that continues, as that was their very first defensive round, but they may not have to play too many the way things are going score-wise right now, if they can keep it up. It looks like we're seeing Panico put one of those bulletproof cameras in the spots we talked about before that you kind of need to break the window. So even on Dock, they're bringing bulletproof cameras. It seems like bulletproof cameras are important to them on this map. It blows my mind then why they don't just play Valkyrie at this point. I mean, why sacrifice or spend 2 operators' gadgets just to get 2 cameras when you can pick 1 operator to get 3 cameras?
Very few teams are running IQ after her nerf, and Valkyrie is made immensely more viable as a result. So yeah, it would. Plus,
either way,
and this is the confusing thing: Latin America, or if you look back, are the region for Valkyrie. Now, they've always loved that operator, so to not see her played too much on Consulate of all maps is, yes, a little bit confusing.
Yeah, it wasn't banned for once.
Especially when you've got, like, docks. That's an operator that's easily rotatable.
Well, you know what? If he does well, but we've seen some really good dock players sometimes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I want to say it was NVK, in fact, in the North American Play Day just a while ago, who had a really great round, I believe, in Ace, I want to say.
Jeez. I've seen Kanto play some really good dock as well. But either way, we'll see how this round goes. He is going to stay alive. Unfortunately, Window's already getting popped and a little late for Hugzard in catching that drone. So Drunk's a good job there.
Yeah.
That means the bathroom a little less safe of a place for the defenders. Not a big deal, though. It's just the bathroom, and you see Slash watching the rotate from the bathroom as well, hoping someone's going to try and sneak out of it now that the window's open. Don't think that's going to be the case, but shots fired through the hole, giving away his position. Slash trying to capitalize however he can. Unfortunately, this also means he's just standing outside for a long time, so kind of working and keeping him busy, which is the important thing here, as no defenders have even taken a lick of damage yet. And phone calls are already coming out. Drunks, though, as I say, that finally catches Hugzord.
Also want to correct myself, it was Jarvis. Was the ace on bank.
Of course.
My mistake.
Jarvido.
I feel terrible now. Anyway, iBlacks with the next kill in this round, and the first one for his team. Drunks goes down. The Twitch, who is not going to be able to open up any more mirror windows, should there be.
Well, we'll see, though. Slash at least taking advantage of the bathroom being decimated now, not just watching it from the skylight. He's actually going to pressure from inside. But he's giving up a lot of his position here, and iBlacks definitely going to take advantage of that.
Yeah, even with the broken mirror window, he can still play this position pretty well, and he will do just that. A nice down and a nice shot onto the player on yellow stairs, as well as a follow-up onto Slash. Now, Lev is going to get picked up, so not a complete success yet for iBlacks, but he's got a great position to cascade this. And he's going to reevaluate. Through the wall.
iBlacks.
What a read by iBlacks, leaving just RDZ. Now, he's got 40 seconds, but he's going to have to find 3 opponents. And that's not going to be an easy task, especially considering how well these opponents have been playing in the round. Ooh, a missed opportunity there for RDZ. And he's going to go for a follow-up, and he will miss that one as well. He's got a lit Panico, but that's a dock, and iBlacks, the first one to confront him. T1 will lock out the round.
Regardless of who wins this, I don't even know who to give MVP for on Team 1 because everyone on this team has had a turn showing up. That was such a good round from iBlacks. You saw, not only was he getting kills, he was constantly forcing the diffuser to be trapped on yellow stairs. They just could not recover it. They couldn't get it out. Even the guy getting picked up was almost bait at that point. Just really well played. Oh, you want to open the window? That's fine. Now we can aerate the bathroom, get that smell out of there, and get tons of kills from it. Just really well played, and he barely left that spot.
Yeah, even if you open up the window, you still have an advantage in terms of the engagement from the corners of the window, from the window itself. I mean, it's a hard angle for the attackers to fight as you're coming up yellow stairs, no matter how you look at that.
Well, even you saw him take advantage of that small hole he'd set up. I mean, obviously that was a little bit luck to that, but nice headshot from there, yeah.
He managed to make it work, and T1 on match point, they will at least get a draw if Black Dragons win 3 rounds in a row, and at best, they will get a victory if T1 takes any of the following 3 rounds.
I am definitely not seeing that coming in terms of comeback, and you see the fact that T1 completely read into this bomb site. They're bringing a Thatcher. Black Dragons read into it because they're bringing a Thatcher and 2 hard breachers.
Yeah,
so maybe this will be a comeback round for them.
I really like this from Black Dragons. They're making the changes that are necessary, and they're going to have the right kit. We didn't see this from T1. When T1 was attacking onto the basement, they never really had the correct kit for a basement take.
Yeah.
And now BD are not repeating T1's mistakes.
To be fair, they had good attacks from the back, though.
They did. However, even if they're repeating T1's mistakes, they're still in such a hole right now that it might not matter. And something also kind of interesting, we finally see that Valkyrie we talked about earlier.
They got tired of bringing all those bulletproof cameras, I guess.
Oh, it's interesting. It's called the Shatterbug. I did not know that when you put on the Elite. Never seen that before.
I thought it was the Shutterbug.
Or Shutterbug. Yeah, excuse me.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, whatever it's called now, I mean, everything got its changed.
But no, it's
now
just
instead of
it's just because of the Elite, right?
Yeah.
So
the Elite thing.
Drones coming out from the Black Dragons attackers. They're going to try and clear into piano. So if you get piano control, you can then start applying some vertical pressure, and you can deny Panico his ability to bandit trick the wall.
We'll see how long that lasts, though. It's definitely a case where frag-wise, Team 1 have been on top of it. So, yeah, there's a utility advantage for Black Dragons, which is very good for them this round, but they've got to turn that into actual plants or kills, because otherwise it doesn't really matter. Yeah, you can get that wall open, but if they could seem to trade that back against you, it doesn't make a whole lot of difference. They are at least trying to do whatever they can passively to get some idea where the attack is coming from and rotate as necessary. And I like all the intel we're seeing being used from these defenders.
Yeah, these cameras are actually really pretty fantastic, having a lot of information gathering on the potential roam victims. But the main game here is the garage wall from Black Dragons. I like their focus, their attentiveness, but they've already lost 1 exothermic charge to a bandit trick.
Unfortunate.
Which means that once they open up that garage wall, it'll only be a certain portion, not the entire thing. And that's not ideal.
So that's the unfortunate part. Sometimes you bring a Thatcher and then you become a little too dependent on being able to try and get the wall open without taking piano, which is unfortunate when, of course, then they can still bandit trick because you haven't taken piano. But in this case, Drunks could go to pressure it here soon. He does at least have bathroom control, and unfortunately, for Panico catches him off guard, so no more bandit tricking. That means Levy can do his job and hear the wall finally get opened.
Yeah, Bandit came off the most dangerous part of his job, and he went into out of the fire pan into the fire, or frying pan, pardon. T1, 2 players on the flank, and they're going to start taking from above. You can see Black Dragons doesn't actually have anyone to watch this right now.
Not only are they using all their own utility for visibility, they're denying theirs.
And the drop down in CEO is completely opened, but it's just going to be a distraction. The flank from Ion is coming into the main lobby. Phone call, though, going to work against this flank, and Ion completely exposed on low HP. He's going to fall off, having not won his engagement, but oh no, bad timing from Drunks, and Hugzord as well gets Lev. So it's actually going to be a rally for T1 despite the phone calls. Last 20 seconds, match point for T1. They just need to get this victory here, and GDN going to make it look even closer as he gets a gas canister kill on Tadaki. Slash, though, down the main stairs, or rather yellow stairs, into Pipes. Will get a double kill before finally being finished off. And GG's come out. T1 take the victory in a very spectacular fashion at the end.
Well, that is unfortunately a 0 for 2 on Consulate for Black Dragons. They seem to have learned a few lessons, but only 2 rounds worth, it seems. They did have some good close ones, but not enough. And unfortunately, that means Black Dragon's going to stay all the way down at the bottom of the standings still. An unfortunate place to be. Some of the team members already a little upset about that, you can tell.
Yeah, they've already vacated. The interesting thing for me about that is that you're getting so close to the end of this half, and you have to get at least one win to really have a chance once you go into the second half. You got to have something to work with.
Yeah.
T1 on the other hand, or T1, excuse me, on the other hand, really